Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, it's your girl Desiree. I'm back on with another show tonight. I have my co-host on the air. Hey girl.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, how you doing? Tonight we have CheyB on here tonight. He's a relationship coach and life coach, and I'm excited because we're going to be talking about females who grew up without father figures, but we're also going to just talk about relationships in general. So let's get him on the line. Hello?
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming on the show.
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I wanted to start off by asking you what made you want to get into coaching and giving women and men advice on relationships.
That's a really good question. Actually, I think that everyone has the ability to give advice on relationships. Because in life, what life is about is building relationships and leaving behind legacies. So no matter what age you are or what your experiences were, you have some sort of insight on what it's like to deal with another human being. And as a life and relationship coach, I take everything that I've learned in my life, everything that I've studied, and everything I see in other people's lives, and I share with others to help them build happier, healthier, stronger, longer-lasting relationships with one another.
Okay, that's really cool because I know like a lot of people have a lot of problems with relationships, especially romantic relationships these days. So I think it's really helpful, and I find your Twitter tweets really helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you a question that I got from one of my friends, and she wanted to know how do you feel when you see guys mistreating women or disrespecting them?
Well, I think that we should all treat one another how we want to be treated. And I think that when a person mistreats another person, it's a sign of what's happened to them, because in actuality, hurt people. You don't see people who are happy and enjoying life running around hurting people's feelings or trying to do damage to their significant others. It's people who have had this damage done to them and haven't quite healed from this pain that they've received from this past relationship. So my advice to people who are emotionally unavailable, I would advise that they take time to heal, take a spiritual journey so that they can be open to loving someone else and having someone come into their lives and love them.
Okay. Destiny, did you have a question?
No, just pretty much how he got started. That's about it for now.
Okay.
Well, how I got started, I feel like this is my calling. You know, I found myself just talking to people about their relationships all the time, and I just had this desire to help other people. And I always tell my followers to turn your passion into a source of income. And I'm very passionate about talking to people, being social, and just helping people build better relationships with other people.
Yeah, I think that's really good because I know, like, especially with relationships, people have questions, and they'll generally turn to their friends who don't really give the best advice. So it's kind of good that people have, like, people like you to go to actually get reliable advice that you can actually follow and actually get results from.
Definitely. And, you know, that's one of my greatest rewards as a life and relationship coach. I talk to so many women on a daily basis, and, you know, everybody says, oh, that's common sense. They read my blogs, they read my tweets, they watch my videos on YouTube, and they say, oh, that's common sense. But as a life and relationship coach, after speaking to hundreds and thousands of people, I've realized everyone has sense, but it's not all common. These women, they call me with tears. Their emails are just filled with pain, and I see that they truly don't understand men. And then I was like, okay, there's a difference between males and females. I get that. So as a male, I'm here to help you. I'm not going to say that your question is stupid or you're stupid for being in this relationship. No, you're perfectly normal. That's what love is. You get in love with someone and you just find yourself doing a world of crazy things because love doesn't make any sense. It has no reason, and it's okay to fall in love and be vulnerable. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to open yourself up to the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that's what happens. And as a life and relationship coach, when I'm able to help someone get through a situation, I get self-gratification, and I love doing it. And not everybody has a father or an older brother or a male who's interested in giving them advice without trying to sleep with them. And that's what I offer. I offer women a place to come get realistic, logical, rational male perspective on relationships.
And I wanted to actually touch upon that, not having like a father figure, because me growing up, I never had like a dad, I never had a brother, uncle, anybody. And when I did see a man in my life, he was like beating up on somebody I loved, so I never was able to like really trust. And then when I finally did start like talking to guys, I was getting myself into situations that I felt like, why am I doing this? Because I deserve better than this. So how do you get out of that stage where it's like I need to have more love for myself, and even though I don't have like this right image of what a man should be like, how am I going to fix this?
Well, I have a relationship blog, and the women that read it seem to be pretty happy with the things that I post. And I also have a relationship book coming out soon. But what I try to encourage everyone who follows me and everything that I say is that I'm just a man, and I get my inspiration from the Bible. And I encourage young women who don't have a father figure, a male figure, to open up the Bible. A lot of people are really anxious to read my book and hear what I have to say. And I'm like, well, why you wait? Why don't you go pick up the #1 best-selling book of all time? That's the Bible. If you pick up that Bible and read it, you'll have a guide to life and relationships. That's the best advice on life and relationships. That'll show you exactly how a woman is supposed to carry herself, exactly how a man is supposed to treat a woman, and how he's supposed to conduct and live his life. You'll have an accurate blueprint right there in the Bible if you pick it up and read it.
Did you have anything to say, Destiny?
Just like pretty much what you just said. I kind of grew up without a father. Like, I had a father figure for a short amount of time, but then all of a sudden he just disappeared. And I finally got the chance to meet my biological father in January of this year. And, like, as far as dating a relationship, love, stuff like that, like, I have love tattooed on my middle finger. I'm pretty sure that's self-explanatory because that's the way I feel. And I kind of think it's because, like, the first man who was supposed to love and be there for me, he wasn't. So I kind of have that mentality where I don't trust men. And I think most of them are pretty much, like, out to get one thing. And I know, like, all men aren't the same, and I'm trying to change my mentality, but I just don't know how.
Well, one thing you can do is you can try to put it in your heart to forgive. This goes for your father or your mother, anybody in your life who's ever hurt you, because what forgiveness does is it frees you of the pain. Who knows what it'll do for the other person, but that's not what forgiveness is about. Forgiveness is about what it does for you. So if you want to open yourself up to the possibility of dating men or being married in the future, having a family, if you're holding on to some kind of grudge, forgive them and let it go, because not all men are the same, and who knows your father's reasoning for not being there. There could be a world of possibilities, But you can't control another adult. You can only control yourself. So what you can do for yourself right here, right now, or whenever you feel comfortable, is forgive that person for their wrongdoings and then move on with your life.
Yeah, that's what I'm in the process of trying to do now.
That's great. That's excellent. And also I want to point out that when a father is not present in a young woman's life, that leaves an opening for the young men of the world to come in and influence that young woman. And when a young man doesn't have a young woman that's interested at heart like a father would, he's more than likely going to try to manipulate her to adjust to his standard of what a woman should be or how a woman should act. And mostly that standard is laying down with him and being available to him and giving him all of the benefits before a commitment, before a marriage. And that's totally backwards. A woman should have standards. She should have requirements for a man to sleep with her. Because a man, he'll do anything to have sex with a woman. I try to tell women that all the time. A man will do anything, and that includes getting down on one knee, proposing, giving you a ring, and going through the proper rituals that a woman deserves. All you have to do is require it. You have to set standards and respect yourself enough to say, hey, I'm worth more than just an hour in bed, and then you're done with me. No. And set standards and requirements and make him work for that opportunity. And these are things that your father would tell you, or any man who truly cares about you would tell you that, you're supposed to value your body, not to give up your most prized possession for nothing. But the men of the world will never tell you that. That's why you have to protect yourself and get yourself informed. Talk to a pastor, talk to a male family member or a life and relationship coach so that you can get this information so that you can really learn how to value yourself.
And what happens if you already have sex with a man that is not your husband and you're not in a relationship with? Because, people do make mistakes. Can you gain back that power, or is it already lost? Because I know some people say they gain back that power and then they end up getting married later on. Or
well, anything is possible, but it's less likely that a man will respect you after you give him your body, because a man will feel like you violated yourself, disrespected yourself, and he'll more than likely keep you around at his convenience. That means he'll call you when he's ready to have sex. When he's ready for intimacy, but he'll be reluctant to take it to that next level because it wasn't a requirement. It's like, why buy the milk if you're getting the cow for free? That's how men look at it. I'm already getting food, I'm already getting sex, I'm already getting the convenience. Why am I going to invest, give her my last name, buy a ring, spend on a wedding, when I'm already getting the benefits of having a wife? This is how men think. So since men think this way, you have to play your own game. It's like playing a chess game. You study your targets, you plan your moves, and you always keep your mate in check. You have to maintain your position and figure out a way for both of you guys to win. But the way to win is you have to know your worth. You have to set standards and requirements. It's just like working a job. If you have a certain level of value, a certain level of skills, then you go to the job telling them how much you want for the job. You don't wait for the job to tell you how much they're going to pay you. So you let the man know, hey, I want a man who's going to marry me before having sex with me. You either say, okay, I'll do it, I'll wait, or he'll try to string you along, or he'll walk away. But what you want to do as a woman of value, you want to make sure that he is a man of his word and meets your standards and not just sleep with you for nothing at all.
I see we have a caller here. 443. Hello?
Well, maybe you should try to ask for, like, the first 3 digits, too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't even hear anything, so I'm not sure what's...
Maybe they'll call back.
Yeah, I think the person is probably, like, the line is messed up or something. But I had another question from somebody. They said, do you feel discouraged when you see girls going for the bad boys?
Me personally?
Yes.
No, I don't. Me personally, I don't feel discouraged to see girls go for the bad boys, because when I go places, no other guy exists. It's just me and a room full of women, and I choose who I'm interested in, and the type of women that I'm interested in are interested in me. So if there's any bad boys, good boys outside of me, that's their own personal business. But I can tell you this about the bad boys. The bad boys aren't looking to be good. So if you have an interest in being married with children with a man who's monogamous and faithful and loyal, then you're not going to find that in the bad boy. And that's why he's called the bad boy, because he has no rules. He has no rules. He has no restraint, and he just does what he wants to do. And with relationships and marriage, there are guidelines that should be respected in order for that relationship to last. So that's something that I think a lot of young ladies should pay attention to. While this guy might offer plenty of adventure, he might be the best in bed, he might do all types of tricks, have you all over the room, but you're not the only one he's doing that with. He has a gift in his pants, and he knows it, and he's using it to his greatest advantage all over the world.
I think a lot of times, like, females, our emotions get the best of us. So, like, with sex, it's like, oh, man, like, I really, really like him. But then you have to, like, really think, like, is that really a deep connection with him, or is that just the sex? Because there's nothing really else besides the sex, so it's not anything deeper.
Yeah, you know what? See, men do not associate sex with love. It's strictly just sex. You know, I think that that's just a part of a woman that she enjoys because a man completely opens himself to her physically, and they connect physically. I think that makes her feel good inside, and she associates that with love. And it is a sign of love. It's him showing you love, but he's not giving you love. That means that after he climaxes, that love is going to be gone because he's going to be getting dressed, leaving the room. So you've had that small sign of love for however long it lasted. But when a man gives you his love, you get the romance, you get the sex, and you get everything after that because he'll still be right there in bed with you instead of getting dressed, leaving you. So you want a man who can not only show you love, but give you the love that you need.
So what do you think about young women and being in school and wanting to be in a relationship? I know you mentioned on Twitter that you should, when you want to get married, you should be already stable, like when it comes to a job, a career, everything like that. So you think it is too young to be married at age 21, 22?
Well, here's the thing. We're in a relationship with our parents from 0 to 18. And after any long-term relationship, after you break up, it should be a healing process where you get back to yourself. You take a spiritual journey, you find yourself, you figure out where you are and where you want to be in your life. Now, the average 18-year-old doesn't know where they want to be or where they're going to end up. So they need to be on a spiritual journey figuring that out. And throughout your 20s, you want to explore the world. You want to travel. You want to experience new things. You want to develop your career, finish your education, and establish yourself emotionally, spiritually, and financially without any major setbacks like perhaps a child or a relationship, because you have all of your life ahead of you to focus on those things. And what you first want to do is gain your independence, because when you're in a relationship, your independence changes from independence to interdependence. So when you find your partner, you both want to be independent. That way you can both hold your own. And when you come together, you're a powerhouse together. But if one of you guys is an emotional wreck or a financial wreck or a spiritual wreck, you're going to be married in your 20s and still trying to figure this thing out throughout your 20s. And then by your 30s, you're going to be looking at each other like, wait a minute, I just wasted my 20s on something that I'm ready to get rid of already. And marriage is supposed to be for a lifetime. So you want to plan to make it the best lifetime. Use your 20s to explore, and find yourself and figure out what you want to do with your future before locking yourself into a lifelong commitment.
So what do you think about being physical during that time? Do you think like a woman should just cut off all physical until she's ready to just be with a man who wants to settle down?
Absolutely not. And physical creatures. So if a woman desires to have any type of romantic relationship with a man, you can't eliminate intimacy, because if you eliminate intimacy, she's going to eliminate that relationship with the man, because there's no value for him. There's no motivation for him. A lot of women, they think that sex is the only form of intimacy. No. You can hug someone and be intimate. You can kiss them and be intimate. You can rub their hand, rub their shoulders. All of those are signs of intimacy. It's not full-on sex, but it is intimacy. It does make the other person feel good, and that's what you want to do in your relationship. You want to make your partner feel good. You want to motivate them to want to be with you and stay with you and grow with you. And if you take away the physical aspect, you're going to lose the man, without a doubt.
I guess sometimes, like, people, well, I don't know. I know every guy is different, but some guys, it's like, I'll bring that up, like, oh, I don't want to be physical or whatever, and they just be like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't want to have sex? Or, like, if you tell a guy, like, I'm in a point where I'm not having sex, they'll look at you like you're crazy. Like, how could you go without sex? That's not normal. Nobody must not be giving you any good sex. I'm like, can I just not want to have sex right now? Like, with our generation, it seems like sex seems to be a really, really big thing.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. But for a young woman who is trying to find herself and is waiting until marriage, you have to try your best to avoid temptation. And the best way to avoid temptation is to avoid temptation. You just gave an example of how you were close to a guy and it was close enough to where he could even inquire about sex. What I would recommend is distancing yourself from admirers while you're trying to figure yourself out. That'll help you along your journey, and without hurting anyone's feelings, without having to confuse yourself or deny any of your admirers. You just take some time for yourself. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with. They don't enjoy being alone, or they don't take the time to be alone and just celebrate with themselves. They have a strong, burning desire to be with the opposite sex and kind of test the water. But this can be very frustrating for a man if he's interested in a girl and he wants to get close to her and she's emotionally unavailable. So when you're emotionally unavailable as a woman, you want to take the time to work on being emotionally available with the right individual.
And how do you be emotionally available if you have trust issues? I guess that goes back with healing yourself first before you become emotionally available?
Absolutely. You have to find yourself before you find someone else. You know, you have to, if there's any hurt that you're dealing with from your past, from your exes, that's perfectly normal. You know, that's where the healing process comes in. You know, after a breakup, you take time to focus on what just happened, where you are, and where you want to be in the future. And during that process, you don't want any interference. And interference could be dates, it could be phone conversations, it could be interaction with the opposite sex. Those men are interfering with your emotional state because they're trying to figure out a way to mix their emotions with yours at a time where it's not convenient for you. So you have to distance yourself from these individuals and focus solely on your well-being.
Mm-hmm. Did you have anything to say, Destiny?
Yeah, one of my friends just texted me a question. She said she's been with her boyfriend for, like, the past 4 years, and now it's getting to the point where he's not doing the things that he used to do. Like, instead of going out with her, he wants to sit at home and play video games or, like, go out with his friends. And he doesn't tell her, like, he loves her as much. So she's kind of confused about that. Like, she doesn't know if he's just comfortable or if that's a sign that she should break it off. Like, she's confused.
Well, he sounds pretty comfortable to me. I didn't get some missing information. I wonder if they're married or if they have kids together, because those would definitely be determining factors on whether they should consider moving forward. But if they have kids together, I would definitely advise her to communicate with him how she's feeling and try to come to some common ground. And the same thing if they're in a marriage, she should definitely communicate with him and figure out the best solution for the relationship. Now, if there are no kids involved, it's been 4 years and it's going downhill, so I don't foresee a marriage proposal taking place. And if they have no kids, it's probably better that they don't have any kids. That way she can more easily remove herself from the situation and learn and grow from it. If there aren't any ties, like a marriage or a child, and things aren't going well, then that means it's time for a reevaluation of your life and your relationship.
Okay, and one more question. I have another friend. She's been in a relationship for 2 years, and she said recently she was at her boyfriend's apartment looking for some tape, and when she went in his drawer, she found, like, some letters and cards from his ex-girlfriend. And when she confronted him about it, he said he's just not ready to let that stuff go. And then she also found out that they had regular phone conversations, lunch dates, and she never knew any of this before. So she doesn't know if, like, he still has feelings for her or if that's just something he doesn't want to let go of or what.
That's a good question, and that's something I definitely want to leave you ladies with, is never listen to a man's words. Always follow his actions. While his words might say that there's nothing there or he's not sure what's going on, his actions are saying everything that she needs to know. There are letters, there are dates, there are phone conversations. All of these things point to he has feelings for her. And she should follow those actions and follow her gut feeling, her intuition, and make the best decision for her life. Never consider those who never succeed.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. You guys can check me out at www.askcheyb.com and connect with me on all of my social networks.
Okay, you have all your links on there.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
thank
do you have, like, a personal email or anything for anybody who will want to contact you personally?
Yes, you can reach me at AskCheyB@gmail.com, or you can call me anytime at 646-389-7145 if you have relationship questions. Every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. is free advice Wednesday. So call me next Wednesday with all your questions.
Okay, thank you once again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, have a good night.
You too. Good night.